where we unearth gems of wisdom that not only stood the test of time but hold the keys to modern dilemmas. Ever find yourself teetering on the edge, pulled between the demands of life and your quest for inner peace? Ever wonder how you can be emotionally bulletproof, not as a sign of indifference, but as a hallmark of inner strength? Today, we're delving into the Stoic ideals of balance and emotional resilience, life-changing concepts that could turn you into the master of your own mental ship, sailing skillfully through the tempests of modern existence. In a world overwhelmed by perpetual stimuli, from the pings of our devices to the demands of our jobs, maintaining equilibrium is a Herculean task. Life is unpredictable. Just when we think we have it all figured out, fate throws us a curveball, shaking the very foundations upon which we've built our illusions of security. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus pointed out, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. In today's era, marred by political turmoil, pandemics, and an unending cycle of social upheavals, the feeling of uncertainty is a ubiquitous cloud hovering over us. How can Stoicism, a philosophy that thrived in the crucible of the ancient world, serve us in the landscape of modern chaos? Premeditatio Malorum literally means the premeditation of evils. At first glance, it seems counterintuitive. Why would one deliberately think about the worst that could happen? Isn't this just mental self-torture? But this is where the Stoic wisdom shines through like a beacon. By contemplating the worst, we're preparing ourselves mentally for life's inevitable challenges. As Seneca once said, "He who has learned how to die has unlearned how to be a slave." By becoming comfortable with the idea of worst-case scenarios, we neutralize the paralyzing fear that often accompanies them. Imagine you're about to go on a long-awaited vacation. In a typical mindset, you'd fantasize about all the things that could go right: sunny skies, friendly locals, delectable cuisine. But if you practice Premeditatio Malorum, you'd also consider flight delays, illness, or even political unrest. By preparing for these possibilities mentally, you create a psychological cushion that blunts the impact of the actual event. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, practiced this by reminding himself each morning that he would meet with meddlers, ingrates, bullies, and liars. The modern mind may balk at this concept, habituated as it is to chasing positive vibes only. Social media constantly bombards us with idealized versions of reality, amplifying our existential angst when our lives inevitably fall short. Here, Premeditatio Malorum serves as a grounding force. By reminding ourselves that life is not a curated feed of idyllic moments, we realign our expectations and become more resilient. As we journey through the labyrinth of existence, it is impossible to escape the specter of suffering. It manifests in myriad forms: the sting of loss, the ache of disappointment, the weight of unfulfilled dreams. The ancient Stoics were acutely aware of life's vicissitudes and did not shy away from acknowledging its inherent suffering. They viewed suffering not as an aberration to be denied or suppressed, but as an inescapable facet of the human condition. The Stoics regarded suffering as a teacher rather than an enemy. It is through suffering that we are jolted out of complacency and prompted to reevaluate our values, priorities, and actions. Seneca, the renowned Stoic philosopher, counseled that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. He urged us to view adversity as an opportunity for growth and transformation. Instead of bemoaning our fate, we can use our suffering as a catalyst for self-improvement and self-actualization. The Stoics advocated a proactive response to suffering. Instead of succumbing to self-pity or despair, they encouraged us to exercise our rational faculties, to understand the nature of our suffering, and to respond to it with wisdom and equanimity. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor-philosopher, exhorted us to confront suffering with fortitude and resilience. He wrote in his Meditations, "Be like the rocky headland on which the waves constantly break. It stands firm, and round it the seething waters are laid to rest." Amidst the perpetual ebb and flow of life, the quest for balance and emotional resilience remains a universal pursuit. Today's society often reverberates with stress, where the pursuit of achievement clashes with well-being, and where emotional turbulence can throw us off course. The Stoics offer timeless wisdom that speaks directly to this modern struggle, illuminating a path toward equanimity and inner strength. In Stoicism, balance is not merely a static state, but a dynamic process of continual adaptation and adjustment. Seneca spoke of life as akin to sailing a ship through a tumultuous sea. The Stoic sailor doesn't expect the seas to calm, but learns to navigate skillfully amidst the tempests. Balance, for a Stoic, is akin to being that proficient sailor who can maintain course regardless of the weather. For them, balance involves equal measures of rational thinking and emotional regulation. While the society often lauds the power of logic, Stoicism teaches that reason alone is insufficient. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Stoicism has long been a proponent of developing emotional resilience, essentially the ability to bounce back from adversity. This starts with the acceptance of life's inherent challenges. Acceptance, however, should not be confused with resignation. It is not about being devoid of emotion. It's about mastering those emotions, not suppressing them. Emotional resilience lies in our ability to navigate our feelings, using reason as our compass. Epictetus emphasized that we don't have control over external events, but we do have control over our internal world, including our responses to these events. Thus, the more emotionally resilient we are, the better we can handle whatever life actually throws at us. So just like we wouldn't walk into a business meeting without preparing for possible questions or obstacles, the practice of Premeditatio Malorum equips us to deal with life's complexities. It can be as mundane as preparing for a tough day at work, or as profound as grappling with the existential fears that haunt us. He who indulges in empty fears earns himself real fears. By practicing Premeditatio Malorum, we face these empty fears, scrutinize them, and thereby strip them of their potency. We cultivate a readiness for life's curveballs, allowing us to navigate our earthly sojourn with grace and equanimity. So dare to face your fears before they manifest. Dare to look into the abyss, so that when you find yourself standing on its edge, you don't lose your footing. After all, when the mind is prepared for the storm, it is the most serene place in the eye of the hurricane. With that, I leave you to ponder, to prepare, and to attain peace amidst the bad days, pandemonium, and the panoply of human experiences.